Hi, it's Bill Koenig for Straight Circle Martial Arts, and this is the best weapon to learn for joint locking. I understand most weapons today are not applicable in the real world. No one's carrying swords or spears, etc. Learning them is a good supplement to teach you fundamental body mechanics that make your other work better. So my question is which weapon is best? Just about any weapon is good to teach you some form of mechanics. So if you're using a stick, right, just the idea of learning to pull with those fingers like this to get that crack through is what you need to understand a joint lock. Swords, chucks, anything like that similar, because you're coming through and you're taking those fingers and you're giving that little extra pull, and that's what allows you to get that snap on it. Long sticks are very good because they teach you to use both hands together. When one-handed weapons generally just teach you one hand. So just the idea of learning how to use both hands together and change grips and positions are very important to understand how joint locking works. But in my opinion, the absolute best one without question is the Sai. Totally useless weapon. Great for movies, terrible for everything else. But it does have one advantage to teaching joint locking no other weapon does. Because of the way they're balanced, you are not going to be swinging these like a sword. They don't have that momentum where they cut like that because they're not meant to do that anyways. They're meant to hit or poke. They also have really thin handles. So what a Sai is really good for that other weapons can't do because it has so many different pieces on it is it allows you very good dexterity. If you watch my fingers, you can see how I have to change grips all the time. And if you watch how my fingers all the time come and grip around and change and have to come to different positions, that is the same thing as learning how to joint lock properly. Your ability to move and not just grip on for dear life and change grips very quickly and use all of your fingers and your thumb to move is exactly how you would joint lock. For those of you who've never used one of these, it's basic ideas, right? You have this, ideally, you're taking your thumb and your finger and you're going like this. And what happens is you're using body and mass. Because, again, you can't swing this thing. It doesn't work well that way. Everything is mass when you do this. So your hands stay in this zone, which gives you much better control. Because when you're joint locking, you're trying to stay in this zone anyways, right? You're not swinging around like you would a sword or a stick. So you have stuff like this. And then you have the flip back, which is really easy. You just take your thumb like this and let it roll. Take your fingers and grip. Just back and forth like that. Now, you could also come now this way and come to the side. And then snap it and you come to there. And again, see how the fingers change? Very important that all the time that your fingers change positions. You could come to here and come into this. And then you have your spin. Now out of there, I'm going to watch the fingers. See how they go like this? And they change and they go like that. And that's how they move. So there are many variations of this. I'm sure there's more than what I'm showing you. But the idea is you want to learn to keep this thing very centered. You want to move with it properly. And you want to have good change with your fingers all the time. So I want to grip. And again, remember, you're using these bottom fingers to propel. That's what makes this happen. And it's the same thing with the joint lock. You have to have this. So just like I showed you with the sides. Ideally, when you're joint locking, you have to have that ability to roll the fingers and change grips if you're really good at them. Most people just grip and hold on for dear life and hope. You'll find in motion, often you have to change grips and change positions and have this ability to move your fingers. If you don't have that dexterity, it's very hard to do it. So using a Sai is very important to understand how to use those fingers. I'm going to make this big so you see it. See how the fingers are really exaggerated here, but you have to be able to go from grip to grip, especially if you're working with fingers. When you start working with fingers, the more you can grip and change positions and not stick in one place, the better off you are. So try it. Go home and get a pair of Sais. They're a lot of fun. Watch them online. Don't just swing them around. It doesn't work that way. You have to understand how they work mechanically. But if you do that, I think it'll help your joint locking.
Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. It helps the channel immensely.